Dana White's Contender Series 2021 Week 6. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. Make sure you guys smash that like button. I need at least 115 likes on this breakdown. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Turn on those post notifications. Let's get into it. It's Dana White's Contender Series action. First fight of the night, lightweight division. Patrik White versus Genaro Valdéz. I like Valdéz in this matchup. Now, obviously, he is a massive favorite, sitting around that minus 510 mark to plus 375. You look at Valdéz's skill set, he's an undefeated fighter who likes getting fights to the ground. He's pretty good at closing distance, getting at his opponent's legs or putting him up against the cage and working for trips from there. Striking wise, he'll throw a lot of 1-2s, but normally to set up grappling attacks. I mean, honestly, on the ground, he also has some good submission skills and heavy ground and pound. On the opposite side, Patrik White, a bit of an awkward style of striker. His chin does come up a little bit high, a lot of forward pressure in his striking style, definitely primarily more so a striker. You look at the wins in the recent matchup, Tristan Dehart and Tristan Dehart again, 2 straight wins over the same guy. Prior to that, he fought a guy that was making his pro debut, has a loss to a 1-3 fighter by KO a little over 2.5 years ago. I think this is Genaro's fight. He should go out there and put on a pretty strong performance. I think inside the distance, finish round 1. I think it's going to be on the ground, but I think it could be TKO or submission. Valdéz may be beating up White on the floor, and then White will give him a submission or something will open up, and then Valdéz will go for it there. Now, let's check out the images from the weigh-ins there. There's Valdéz, there's White, there's the face-off. Slight height advantage for Patrik White here against Genaro Valdéz, but I like Valdéz's chances in this matchup of getting this fight to the floor, picking him apart on the ground. As I said, the odds are huge. At best value, you can find around minus 400. Valdéz wins inside the distance, minus 225. You know what? I can't throw too much at it with these disgustingly wide odds. I think it should be more like minus 200 for Valdéz. I think it's way too widespread with that minus 500 tag. Valdéz wins inside the distance. I think first round stoppage, but be cautious betting it because the value isn't great. Shonte Barnes versus Joseph Holmes, light heavyweight division matchup. I like Joseph Holmes in this matchup. I think that he might be a little bit too wide of a favorite, but it kind of goes towards, you look at the competition level Shonte's fought. You look at the guys he's fought. He has never beat someone with a winning record, as a draw with the 6-5 fighter there. Now, the style of Shonte Barnes isn't bad, though. He's an athletic southpaw with a really wide stance, and he likes to use that lead southpaw hand as a bit of a rangefinder, and his boxing's not bad. On the opposite side, though, Joseph Holmes, ugly man. He's a rangy striker who likes to mix it up with his boxing. He's got decent front kicks up the center, and his right hand has some real power on it, especially when he puts it behind the jab. He does have Muay Thai experience. I feel like in this matchup here, Shonte Barnes will have bitten off a bit more than he can chew. I still think he's a decent fighter, but at 34 years of age, coming in here, big opportunity, the first ever of his career, really having not fought against, upper echelon guys. I'm not saying that. You look at his opponent, Holmes has fought the best guys in the world, 3-2. That was about a month ago. 0-1, 4-1. But still, at least has some wins over guys with winning records. I know Barnes, I guess, is fighting guys with lots of experience, but not necessarily good fighters and guys on drastic declines. Look at that fight against Jay Ellis. He now is 15-100. I think Holmes wins this fight. I think it's going to be harder than expected. I'm thinking late stoppage, probably submission on the floor. I'm thinking round number 2 or 3. I believe Holmes might potentially drag this fight to the ground. I could see him hurting Shonte Barnes, though, and then following up, getting a submission. Definitely stoppage victory, Joseph Holmes in this one. Now, odds-wise, obviously, he's a massive favorite, and now we will actually pull up the face-off images there. There's Joseph Holmes. There's Shonte Barnes. There's a face-off. You see the clear-cut height advantage, which definitely is a factor in this one. But looking at the betting lines now around minus 390, so better value. If you went Holmes inside the distance, it's minus 195. You could win it by that method, but I don't feel that would deliver you the benefit. If it would be Holmes wins by submission, that's actually expected at -115. So the prop isn't great. The bookies are being cautious here and intelligently so, not giving you a huge opportunity. But Holmes should get a stoppage win. The TKO prop's more juicy at +500. I like Holmes for the victory, but would be a riskier bet betting on a big favorite on these Contender Series cards. Now the featured bout of the night, Joshua Weems and Fernie Garcia. I love this matchup. I like the underdog Joshua Weems for a couple of reasons. This guy's a savage fighter. He's fought in bare knuckle boxing. He's done the Game Bred Fighting Championship. He's a really fast starter with pretty decent wrestling. His clinch game is good. And I feel like his kickboxing skill sets are also pretty solid. He's got good straight punches coming inside. He likes to mix it up with his boxing. You look on the opposite side, Fernie Garcia, a pretty solid striker in his own right. Definitely down to sit and bang, maybe too much so. He could get caught by Joshua Weems here. Seems to be a pretty skilled wrestler. He has that lead hand a bit low, but the stiff jab is good, but sometimes will overly engage, closing way too much distance and leaving openings. A guy like Joshua Weems is not an easy out. 8-1 versus 9-1. The bookies are sleeping on Joshua Weems here. He's going to win this fight by a decision over Fernie Garcia. I'm going Joshua Weems, underdog pick. I do believe potentially a lot of clinch work or a good old striking match, and I think Weems is more than capable of beating Garcia in a hard-fought decision. Anywhere this fight goes, the guy's proven with a lot of heart as well, and that's a factor. The Contender Series, they're going for the kill. You can't fight boring. I don't think Weems will. I don't think Garcia will. I think they will throw down. I got the plus 210 underdog. Joshua Weems win by decision. If he does win by a decision, we're looking at a plus 600 price tag. A lot of dinero. I believe it. I believe Joshua Weems win by decision. Plus 210. Bet it cautiously if you are looking to bet it. Weems, one factor we do have to talk about. I guess this is something to mention. Weight miss. That's never a good look. But from what I've seen of him, I think this might have been an intentional miss. Stylistically, the matchup, he's now going to have the strength edge inside of the clinch. Yes, he missed weight, but he does look in decent shape. He doesn't look fat. He looks ready to go. I think Joshua Weems gets the win. Maybe not the contract, though, missing that weight by 3 pounds. 136 is the limit. He came in at 139. Not a good look on the Contender Series to miss weight, but I think Weems gets the W in this fight. And betting-wise, would be a potential valuable underdog. Co-main event, Daniel Barez versus Carlos Hernandez. Flyweight division. I like this matchup, and I like Daniel Barez. Now, it's not that Hernandez isn't a tough prospect to take out, because I mean Barez has a lot of pro experience. 12-4. I believe he made his debut in like 2011. He's a really skilled kickboxer. His striking game is definitely where he shines, but he's also really solid on the ground. Nice submissions from the bottom that'll throw up. Watch out for his guillotines. Boxing wise, when he gets in that close range, and if he has you against the cage, he will dig to the body, which is a valuable aspect of striking. I like the stand up a lot for Daniel Barez. Carlos Hernandez, we got to give him some respect, though. Thai style of striker with a deep amateur background. I believe nearly 15 amateur bouts, really quick hands, mixes it up well, decent wrestling defense. But I think Barez, with so much more pro experience, has been going at this a lot longer. I believe stylistically, he also actually is a little bit quicker. His striking a little bit slicker. Grappling game better. I think Daniel Barez win by a hard-fought decision against Carlos Hernandez, but the odds are close for this one. They could potentially even shift the other way. Barez -116, Hernandez +115. I think fight goes the distance. It's -150 for that. I think Barez wins a decision. That's +170. But I prefer the straight bet in case Barez, somehow locks up a submission, which could potentially be possible here. Liking Barez, win. Very slight favorite over Carlos Hernandez in this flyweight co-main event. Now, main event time. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. Much love to all my people watching the show. It is Shimon Smotritsky versus Mike Malott. We have tough matchup for both guys, really, but I like Shimon. I know he's only 21 years of age. Yes, that's a factor being younger, but you look at the activity rate of Mike Malott 9 months ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 6 years, 11 months, 7 years ago. The guy hasn't been an extraordinarily active fighter since taking, some hard routes. He's won 2 fights since he had a draw and a loss. That loss was to Duadu over in World Series of Fighting, and look how good Duadu's done now with his career. Stylistically, you look at the matchup on the side of Shimon, pretty lanky striker who starts fast. He's very young, 21 years of age, so definitely some technical things he's still polishing up, but on the ground, extremely good. When he gets your back, he's very tricky to shake off from there, persistent with ground and pound, looking for submission openings, and also his takedowns in the clinch are very, very good, and he's stronger than he looks. You look at the frame there. Oh, we forgot to give the face-off for Barez and Hernandez, but it doesn't change the pick at all. I'm liking Barez there. But looking at Mike Malott and Shimon Smotritsky, the face-off, for 21 years of age, Smotritsky looks ready for it. I believe he is ready for this matchup. I think he's going to put it on Mike Malott here. From what I've seen of Mike Malott, he's definitely a skilled fighter. Solid kickboxing, I would say an athletic style of striking, and does have some decent combination punches. He has a really nice straight hand that he'll like to throw and hurt you and then try to jump on your back. His submission game is tricky. When he grabs your back, he'll definitely potentially lock something up. You look at the last one, it was a win, rear naked choke in the first round. He dropped Solomon badly in that one with a big straight shot, but he was getting touched up a little bit beforehand. I think in this matchup, Shimon Smotritsky gets the victory win. I think potentially KO, TKO on the floor, but could definitely see this fight going 3. I like Smotritsky as an underdog. Now, the odds are not crazy wide for this one. Smotritsky plus 160, Malott minus 156. I like the plus 160 dog. Am I ballsy enough to want to play him inside the distance? I don't know. Plus 200 for it when I can just play for plus 160. I'll just bet him straight. I like the underdog in this Dana White's Contender Series main event. Overall, it's a solid Contender Series card. Definitely some bets to be made. I would say just be slightly cautious. If you are parlaying things up, which I would more so advise against, especially for Contender Series, 2 fighter parlays maximum here. If I had to pick one, value-wise, I don't like it, but I feel like Genaro can get the W. I would potentially play him with Shimon in the main if I'm looking to bring in a nice underdog, or even potentially Joshua Weems, but not saying to go out and do those. Personally, going to be sticking with money line bets on this Contender Series card. I think that's the best way to do it. Smash that like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel. Much love to everybody tuning in. Keep your eyes out because I got content coming out every single day of the week. This week's Best MMA bets coming. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury 3 breakdown. Lots of exciting stuff. Keep it locked in here at MMA Experts. Much love, and I will see you all in the next video.